Coryell's class? 3.3 equivalent fractions. Can you find equivalent fractions? All right, some questions for you. Fractions, where do they live? They live between 0 and 1. Fractions are part of... So 1 whole would be like the number 1, right? Yeah. And then a fraction is nothing more than a basic... division problem. What is the top number of a fraction called? Numerator. What's the bottom number of a fraction called? Denominator. Are these two fraction pictures equivalent? Yes. Even though they look a little different, they're still the same? Yes. Are these two fractions equivalent? Yes. Even though they look a little bit different, they're the same? Yes. What does reduce and... Reduce and simplify mean what? Making an equivalent fraction by dividing, right? Yes. So to reduce means you're making an equivalent fraction by dividing the top and the bottom by the same number, right? Yes. Is simplify the same thing? Yes. Simplify makes simple, reduce makes smaller, yes? Yes. All right. Fractions always must be reduced to lowest terms, yes, no? Yes. All right, let's do this one. 3/9. 3/9 is a fraction, right? Yes. So in order for us to reduce this fraction, we need to find a common factor, yeah? Yes. And we learned that to find common factors, we make these smiley faces, yes? Yes. We found that 3 and 9 have a common factor of 1, but is 1 going to do anything for us? No. No, going to keep it the same. They also have a common factor of 3, yes? Yes. So if I divide the 3 by 3 and the 9 by 3, what do I get? What is 3 divided by 3, guys? 1. What is 9 divided by 3? 3. So is 1/3 the same as 3/9? Yes. So I just reduce it, yes? Yes. How about 12/18? Can you reduce 12/18? Yes. We did our t-charts. What's the biggest number that goes into 12 and 18? 6. So if I divide by 6, 12 divided by 6 is 2, 18 divided by 6, I get 2/3, right? Yeah. Do you have to divide by the greatest common factor? No. We know 12 and 18 are what kind of numbers? Even. So we know that 2 is going to work, right? Yeah. Abdullahi, I need your eyes up here. So we know 2 is going to work, but when you divide or when you reduce using 2, we get this fraction. Can that fraction also be reduced even more? Yes. So we used a common factor of... 3. And did we get to the same answer then? Yes. Same thing for letter C. We found that 5 works as a common factor, so you reduce using the top and the bottom. Can you find equivalent fractions using multiplication? Yes. The rule is, if we have 3/9 and we want to find an equivalent fraction but use multiplication, we need to multiply the top number and the bottom number by... Well, not necessarily by 2, but by the same number. It could be 2, it could be 3, as long as you're doing it to the top and the bottom the same. It could even be what? 1,000. It could even be 1,000, right? So as long as you're doing the top and the bottom by the same number, you're good, yes? Yeah. For both multiplication and division. Yeah. We good?